CC5, your body speaks. My body speaks. Yes, your body speaks a language that is unlike any other language of any certain country. A language that is understood by everybody worldwide, and yet still goes unnoticed by many of us. Your body speaks body language. Fellow Toastmasters, Mr. President, Toastmaster of the Day, and most welcome guests, body language is not only something that is used in public speaking or only in your CC5 in Toastmasters. We use it every day in all of our interactions, in all of our encounters with each other, from your facial expressions to the way you move your hands and your arms, to the way you walk, stand, or even sit. Even the way the direction of your eyes go can signal what exactly you are feeling or remembering. And professionals use this fact in, for example, job interviews or even in police interrogations to recognize if somebody is lying. By the way, a study at Harvard University showed that women understand body language far better than men. And this is the reason why few husbands can lie to their wives and get away with it. Also, this explains why from a woman's standpoint, men don't seem to talk very much. But from a man's standpoint, women never seem to shut up. Now I'm going to tell you the reasons why you should learn body language. First of all, notice how some of our phrases or sentences we speak signify how important body language is to our communication. For example, when we say something like, get it off your chest, or stay at arm's length, or for example, he's a pain in the neck. See what I mean? Even see what I mean? So all this you can notice how they describe something done by the body and help you understand something better. Now, some of these phrases might be hard to swallow, but some of them are real eye-openers. So as a rule of thumb, I can keep them coming until you buckle at the knees or turn your back on the whole idea. But hopefully you will be sufficiently touched by this concept and lean more towards it. Now, here's the handy thought, all right? Sometimes you might have to show what you're hiding in your hand to gain the upper hand. But don't get caught red-handed or try to wash your hands of a mistake. Because if you bite the hand that feeds you, things could get out of hand. Now give me a big hand. This was hard to memorize, really. Now to the reasons why you should pay more attention to body language and maybe even learn more about it. The first reason is that sometimes what people say may not always be what they really feel or really mean. For example, politicians. We all know that they sometimes pretend to believe in something they don't really believe in, or act like they're someone who they aren't really, who isn't really who they really are. And most of the time, politicians try to dodge questions or avoid topics and keep waving to imaginary friends in the crowd. So nowadays, most high-profile politicians hire body language consultants to help them seem more sincere and caring and honest, especially when they are not. That's the first reason. If you want to understand what people really mean, learn body language. Now the second reason. Excuse me. For some reason, I just forgot everything that I want to say. Thank you very much. this is another reason. Gestures or signs, all right, signs can mean different things for different people or in different cultures. For example, if I do this, what does this mean? It means okay or good, right? For most people.
Yes.
But for example, if you do this in Australia or in Greece, this means up your an insult. Another thing, what does this mean? This means okay in America and in Europe mostly, but in Tunisia or in France, this means zero. And here in our Arabian countries, if our dear mothers do this, this means I'm gonna get you. So another reason is to avoid this confusion that sometimes arises from different situations in the same signs or gestures. One more thing, when I do this means one, right?
Yes. Yes.
Or it can mean excuse me if you do it in a restaurant. Also, it can mean I swear by God. Right? And one last thing, if you do this to children, it means no, right? So different size, different moves can mean all kinds of different emotions or meanings hidden behind them. So to summarize, learning body language has many merits. Now what are they? For example, I mentioned to understand someone better and to know exactly what they're feeling. The second thing is to avoid the confusion or insulting someone by mistake. And the last thing I just remembered it is to understand the audience better. So as a public speaker, imagine that, for example, allow me to use this chair. If someone was sitting in the crowd like this, and with his chin down and had his arms crossed across his chest, professional speaker would understand from body language that his message isn't going across well and try to take a different approach to gain the audience's involvement. So before my time finishes, I want to thank all of you and tell you to learn more about body language. Thank you very much.